let me say a hearty good Tuesday morning to Grenada, Carrie Coup, PT Martinique. How's everybody doing? Good morning to our listeners wherever you are listening us this morning. We'll be speaking about those who be listening via terrestrial radio, K105. Good morning, you sit by and you tuned in. I'm going to say good morning to you. Hey, let me say good morning also to those of you via GBN TV, whether it's channel 7, channel 11, or channels 20. Blessed Tuesday morning to you. Let me say good morning to our social media, of course, listeners and viewers also. Those of you via our Facebook page, good morning. And don't forget to share the live. And thanks for being part of To The Point for today, Tuesday. It's an open line day today, 435-2041, which means I'll be taking your phone calls. Certainly would like to hear what you have to say this morning. There are various issues that happened, of course, during the course of last week, even to the course of this week also, the start of this week, even though we just into the second day in terms of the work week, per se, second work day for this particular week. And probably something you want to chime in on. So your phone calls are certainly welcome. 435-2041. If I missed out on saying my name, I will simply accept the initials GT this morning. You can simply refer to me as that. GTA, good morning. I will certainly accept that as we go through this morning. I certainly encourage you to keep your comments short as possible. I certainly respect everything that you have to say. And certainly, of course, you say whatever you have to say in a respectable way also. 435-2041, that's the number you can use to get on the inside of To The Point. We do have a very first caller this morning. Let's go to the phone line. Say good morning to the caller. Caller, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Mr. GT.
Good morning to you.
I got it.
Yes.
How you do?
Doing very well. What about you?
A good man.
All right.
Mr. Telesford, I need assistance. The assistance I need is this. I got cut off from flow sometime during the month.
Yes.
I went to them and asked why did they cut me off. They said I have an arrest of 600. I forget the number now. And I said, well, look at all the receipt from January, December bill come to January, and I have it right down. And my daughter paid the August bill in St. George's on the 1st of September. And then I paid on the 22nd of September. So how am I still owing? And why am I out of service? They said to me that they cannot find it on the computer because I paid it in tongue. I said, well, that doesn't make sense. Because, look, I have the receipt. No, sorry, I didn't have the receipt at hand. I went home. I got the receipt, and I come back to them at Grand Dance. I said, look at the receipt. Can you still not find it on the computer? So you all don't have a proper communication of how the business works, Mr. Telesford. I don't know. But they don't have it in Grand Dance according to what the guy said to me. Now, I asked to see the person in charge. I said I would like to make an appointment because this happened before. And look at all the receipts, it's not adding up. How come they tell me I'm still owing for September? I said, look at the receipt for the 22nd of September, and I out of service going on 2 weeks now. The lady says to me, there could be a problem from last year. I said, excuse me? I owe in last year $600, and December I paid for January, and so on, come down. Everywhere I go, GT, I went to Mount Hotman. They said to me there that they only deal with business people. They send me back to Grand Anse to see. Well, if I tell you, I don't bother the lady name because I've been to Grand Anse 3 times already, running up and down. And yesterday, last night when I get back to my house, they put on the service. So how could I owe in now for something they put on the service? So what I'm calling, what I need now is 3 things. One, I need the system, this big balance I have to clear from the system because I have all the receipts that I don't owe anything. 2, they need to give me a refund of 2 weeks while I paid and I did not have any service. That's 2. 3, the Grenada government or whoever deal with those things, we need to have other phone long line, because the problem is there's other phones companies, but we don't have the landline. And certain services we don't have, because the competition. And when I was, I'm not taking your time, I was with Lime, and I never ever had that problem until Lime gone. And this is not the first time Flo did that with me. $800 my daughter went and paid, because I didn't have the receipt to prove, even if I knew that I paid. My daughter paid the bill. No, they did that with me again in the middle of this month, and I have all the receipt to show. And the strategy is here. They just put on the service, and they charge you for the cutoff, the reconnection, and then a month later they come back and do the same thing again, Mr. G.
Well, caller, I certainly understand where you're coming from. Certainly hope you could get this rectified. I mean, you may have to make an appointment with someone, of course, in the managerial level of the company per se, and have your cause taken, or your issues per se taken care of, because there seems to be some kind of discrepancy coming on in between here, and you need to have sorted out. So I hope that can be sorted out.
Thank you, sir. But I try everything already, sir. Thank you. Have a blessed one.
You too. I'm not sure how much we could actually do by you saying it here on the radio, how much we could actually do to help you solve that particular problem. That is more for the company to deal with per se, and certainly hope that could be rectified as soon as possible. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning, and how are you? Welcome to The Point.
GT, good morning.
How are you this morning?
I'm not too good. How are you doing?
Doing well.
Long time we in chat, but you don't even say, Tanti, how you doing?
Tanti, how you doing? Tanti, how are you doing this morning?
Doing
so
good
I just
now, with God by my side.
All right.
Talking about the food shelves. No sugar for many months now. We cannot get sugar to use. What are we going to do? The food shelf is going down. Every day you go to the supermarket, everything is missing.
All right.
Where is the sugar? Is the whole island don't have sugar? You go to the small shop, they don't have. You go to the supermarket, they don't have. What is happening to us?
Well, there seem to be a shortage on island, and I certainly hope the authorities or the folks who are responsible for the importation could have that taken care of sooner or later. And I per se don't use it, so it's not really a big hindrance for me. Per se, I try to stay away from the sugar, so it's not really a hindrance for me. But certainly hope that could be taken care of, because there's a lot of folks. There's someone who called in actually asked for the Minister of Sugar. I was wondering who that is myself, but certainly hope that could be rectified. Whoever the company or companies that are responsible for the importation had that rectified soon. But there's a shortage out there.
GT, I have another announcement to make.
Tell me.
About the Grenada pavement. When it's raining, it's a lot of water, you cannot walk the pavement, it's well mashed up, it needs fixing. The vendors on the pavements, they have the big umbrella, you cannot walk, they bouncing you down, you don't have to beg them for a place to park.
I know, you certainly have complained about that before, and I understand the inconvenience. What could I say? The police or someone in authority could actually have to look into that again, and I certainly understand your plight this morning pertaining to that.
Yeah, but I got to do something about it, because when I walk there, I have my stick to walk with. I'm not a young person, I could just bounce them down and pass. I have to beg them, please, excuse me, please.
I know, sidewalk vending, I understand that, caller.
It is real terrible for you to walk in town.
Have a good day.
Some more walkway. And when they're on the pavement, and people walking, they have to leave a narrow space for the walkers, but they take the whole pavement and they Snapchatting. No, we've got to do something about the manners and the discipline we have. We must know that is not everybody that could do it all, but those who cannot help them, say help them. Somebody asks, please. Oh, they're so sorry, they go on one side, but they take the whole pavement, you cannot walk on the pavement. Just do something for us. Another place we have going on by the old police place in the other street there, Velvet Street. They always have water flowing there. You have to go down in the street and walk with the vehicles coming. We're having a lot of problems in this town. We have to get it fixed and done soon.
Okay, caller. Thank you for your, of course, information this morning. Thank you so much.
All right.
All right. 435-2041, 435-2041. We're taking your phone calls this morning. It's to the point. It's an open line segment this morning. Let me say good morning to all of you who are listening and viewing via our Facebook page. Don't forget to share the live. And I'll certainly be getting to your comment this morning. For some reason, I have it before me this morning, so I certainly will be getting to your comments this morning, especially those of you via the Facebook page. Let me say good morning to the caller. Caller, good morning. Caller, would you mind lowering your radio or television, whatever device you have in the background? Lower it, please. Good morning to you. I guess the caller is out. So please lower your device. I guess it's something we've been shouting out over the years. And I think it's time that folks should get it together. 435-2041, 435-2041. Lost that caller there again. 435-2041. That's the number for you to get on to the point today. It's open line, which means you have the option of calling in, stating issues you may have that you would like to get out there. And we had some calls already pertaining to various issues, folks calling in about that. Let's say good morning to the caller. Caller, good morning. How are you?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I just have two little things I just want to mention about.
Go right
the
ahead.
first one is to do with the issue with the guy who has been set free.
Mm-hmm.
This problem been going on for a lot of years now. You understand? And something needs to be done about it, because I had an incident years ago where I had a situation where I came to Grenada and I was shot and everything and whatever happened and whatever. And I had to take time off from my job to come to Grenada to answer to the case. And every time I came, I came the first time, I came the second time, the case had to be put up. We had everything, all the evidence, everything was in place. And the third time I decided I'm not going to come back to the case. I was told by the prosecutor that I was going to be arrested. I could be arrested if I did not come to the case. I said, well, you all got to arrest me whenever, because I will not come back. The magistrate or the judge, whoever you was, called us up on the bench, and he asked me the reason why I was going to come back. I said, well, unfortunately, this is the third time I coming back to Grenada for this case, and it's been put off, and I see no reason why it's put off. So he said to me, you understand my situation? What I had to do is to go down to the police station. It was downstairs, the NIS building, and sign saying that I want to throw the case out. Right? And we had everything. So I'm saying this is something that happened in Grenada for donkeys. Since 1977, the incident of St. I had the incident. Mm-hmm. You understand? So for that, they have to put system in place that this guy who committed that hideous attack or crime should never just walk free. Secondly, it could be controversial. This is to do with the American government and the Grenada government, or representatives. We have a situation where we just had a U.S. military ship left Grenada. They came here and they said they do all these things to help Grenada and they want to be friends and whatever. Why is it that a Grenadian has to take two planes, spend over $5,000 to go to Barbados to get a visa, to go to America, or to go because you're in an American state to get a job, whether on a cruise ship or whatever? This is unfair, and we're supposed to have an American embassy in Grenada. Why is it the Prime Minister or the government of Grenada need to look into this matter? That Grenadians you want to be our friends, you say our friends, you rule us, whatever. Why we have to spend all this money, take two planes, stay in two hotels? This is unfair to Grenadians. And somebody has to look into the man. This has been going on for some time. What is the use of American embassy here? How long it take one American to come from Barbados to stay in the embassy and assess these people? There's these poor Grenadians who are trying to make a living. Something needs to be done. So I'm calling on the Prime Minister, I'm calling on the Ms. Herrera who just took over in America. Please look into the matter, because this is hurting a lot of Grenadians terribly. And I'm speaking as somebody who traveled the world and traveled a lot of places, and I feel that at the end of the day, we have a nation who is helping us, who say that we're friends, and yet to get a visa, you have to spend over $5,000. just to go to the next country, take 2 planes. This is unfair. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your concern this morning, caller. 435-2041, 435-2041. Let me say good morning to our folks who are viewing and listening via our Facebook page. And this comment is coming here from Haven Hill. Good morning to Haven. And regarding the stolen computer, Ruggles said that there is no lost computer, but the Cloudin reaffirmed on GBN last night there has been a letter from the registrar's office saying that the computers is stolen. Why the inconsistency there? And of course, that I would certainly like to know too, because you're hearing a different side of the story lately pertaining to that particular issue there. Folks are saying that I should impose some time limits. I sometimes do try, but sometimes folks have more than one, of course, comment to make, and I try to be a little bit lenient, So, but I do always say to the introduction of the program, please keep your comments short, and I'm saying it again. When you're calling in, folks, please try to keep your comments as short as possible. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning, and how are you?
I'm fine. Good morning.
Good morning to you.
I have a problem.
Tell me.
This, they said when the other government was there, they said they decriminalizing marijuana. Now they're moving full ahead to legalize it. Aren't these people and them care about our sons and daughters and the other people that is on the street? Some of them, when you see you take that, some of the things is not just marijuana. They know what they're putting in it. And we have enough boys and girls. Go around, you go see. They turn vagrant on the street. Now they're saying it would not be for ordinary people, it would be for medical purposes. That's just a joke. How are you going to stop them? You can't stop them now. You think you will stop them when you legalize it?
All right.
I don't believe that.
So I'm assuming, caller, you are against the decriminalization of marijuana. You're against that?
Against decriminalization and against the
legalization also.
Legalization.
All right.
They need not to do that because these things is just not working good. Because when you see they do that, they're smoking it, and look on the street, you will see how much vagrants. Most of them is that, not just get off something, take them, and they just become whatever. Most of them is the marijuana they're smoking with other drugs.
All right.
Have a good day, sir.
Thank you for your, of course, complaint this morning, caller. And I'm sure you, as well as others, may have shared the same opinion pertaining to that particular issue. As we still await, the full legislation of that particular issue. And when they do, goes to Parliament and the whole process goes through. Let's see how it actually will work out. 435-2041, that's the number you can call to be part of To The Point for today. Let's go to the phone line. Caller, good morning, and how are you?
Good morning, man.
Good morning to you.
I'm good. So I just wanted to go off of what the woman just called and say. In my personal opinion, I think that's the stigma of marijuana. And a lot of people are bound by that stigma. Marijuana has so many uses besides smoking it, besides inhaling the flame, right? Marijuana has so many healing properties. I've watched people numerous times on videos on YouTube and all of that stuff that benefit from the healing properties of marijuana. So before people go to jump the gun and talk about the stigmas and everything that they feel they know about marijuana, then they need to change that aspect, because I know personally that marijuana have a lot of healing properties in it, and people need to wise up and look into it. There's no simple reason that the government is looking to decriminalize it.
All right.
And I want people to understand that the government is doing that for a reason. It's because marijuana has so many healing properties towards it, and the country can benefit from a plant. Thank you guys so much.
Your point taken, folks, sir, and respected a whole lot. 435-2041, 435-2041. That's the number to be part of To The Point for today. We taking your phone calls. We're going back to the phone line once again. Caller, good morning. Welcome to The Point.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Speaking about marijuana, the Lord have given me that in sleep already. I received a big bag and he spoke to me and he let me know the marijuana is to heal the nation, and he showed me how to use it.
All right.
Yes, but what I do recognize, we are abusing it. Yes, it is to heal the nation.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you, caller, for your contribution this morning. Thank you so much. Folks, we drew for a break. Let's take our first break in this segment. We're coming right back with more of To The Point for today. And it's an open line segment today, which means you have the option of calling in and share your views and concerns. We're coming right back.
I'm a winner. You are winner. We are winners. Winners.
Be an instant winner today with the NLA by simply purchasing your Daily Pick 3 and Playway tickets at your nearest agent or NLA outlet. As a proud sponsor of the CPL cricket coverage, the NLA continues to support the development of sports, culture, and nation building in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. The NLA, making your dreams a reality.
I'm a winner. You are winner. We are winners. Winners.
As GBN brings you coverage of this year's Hero CPL, there will be some adjustments to our programming lineup. On Tuesday 27th, Wednesday 28th, and Friday 30th September 2022, transitions will be at 5:05 p.m. GBN TV News will be at 6 p.m. and repeated right after the CPL match. Transitions will be rebroadcast after the GBN News repeat. GBN, with you anywhere and everywhere with sports coverage.
Who does man of the party? Tell them it's 4-7 trade. Shout it, let them know where we represent 4-7 trade. Who's the body's passing? 4-7 trade. Them no crazy like.
Welcome back, our viewers and listeners this morning. It's To The Point for today, Tuesday, the 27th day of September. And we're taking your phone calls this morning. Still a topic of contention, of course, that has been prevailing. Still a lot of conversation pertaining to it. And I'm looking at some of the comments via our Facebook page this morning. And we have Ernesto saying here that on Beyond the Headlines last night, the past AG made a valuable point on the past case with the Roberts versus Roberts, which is similar to the Clark case, and evidence was missing, but the trial did not went on in the case. So they asking the prosecution, the prosecutors, and the family lawyers will see will be able to use it and the civil suit for the violation of civil rights. So still a lot of talk pertaining to that particular case there, folks. And those of you who actually viewed Beyond the Headlines last night, I'm certainly sure you learned a whole lot pertaining to that matter also. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning and welcome.
Good morning, GP. How are you, sir?
Doing good, sir.
Okay, good. GP, the marijuana thing. Mm-hmm. Every country in the Caribbean want to plant marijuana, plus America and Canada. Everybody want to plant marijuana. Think about it. Soon, marijuana would have no value because everybody have marijuana. Like one time in Green, I hope they won't cut down cocoa and nutmeg and plant marijuana. Because one time, years, they was cutting down cocoa and nutmeg and plant bananas. And then everybody come and have bananas. Bananas come now, there is no banana. Mm-hmm. So I hope they don't think about planting marijuana and getting rid of cocoa and nutmeg and cinnamon, because those things we need to put us on foot. We is the spice island of the Caribbean, and we have most of those things in Grenada than anybody else. Mm-hmm. So let's plant more of those things and forget cutting down things to plant marijuana. I hope they don't want to do that, because it's very important to go back to planting those things as nutmegs and cocoa and so on. I remember when I was small growing up, we used to use the cocoa, the part of the cocoa, we used to grind it, grate it with a grater, or otherwise we grate it on a rough stone, and we used to use it as shampoo. And when you don't use that and you wash it out, you just put your grease in your hair and your hair come like it's slick, your hair coming like mix. You understand? So up to now, they can find something to make from the cocoa of the pod, make a shampoo from that, which is, I find they should be able to, because we used to use that before. I know these things.
Thank you for your contribution, caller.
Okay,
Thank you so much for your contribution this morning. 435-2041, 435-2041. And we're taking your phone calls this morning. Seem to be a topic of a discussion this morning. A lot of folks seem to be chiming in on that particular issue of the Throne speech when it was made, in terms of when they say the legalization of marijuana. Don't forget, it's been said the purpose of it be for the legalization of marijuana, and it's be for industrial and medicinal purpose. I think it's not for the recreational use and so forth. If I'm right about that, I'm starting to be corrected. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning. How are you?
Yes, good morning again. Hello?
Yes, caller.
Yes, what I do recognize, if they do legalize marijuana and everybody plants, who will buy? You will not get sale. What do you think about that?
Well, it's a topic to be debated on. Thank you for your contribution this morning, caller.
Yes.
All right, thank you so much. 435-2041. I think some folks still are having the wrong interpretation of what has been said pertaining to that particular issue. So a lot of folks still are having the wrong interpretation, and there's more. There's the option for more consultation pertaining to this before this just happens, and I think that will certainly happen per se, where there'll be more consultation pertaining to this. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning.
Good morning, GT.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
How are you today, sir?
I'm doing okay.
I have 2 points to make. First of all, concerning the marijuana. The people are saying that everybody going to plant marijuana. Everybody don't plant marijuana. When banana was existing, everybody didn't plant banana, right? So don't believe that marijuana everybody will plant marijuana.
I certainly don't believe so also. I certainly don't believe that also.
GT, my most essential point is that I live in the Northeast here, right? Willis to be exact. And as you know, Willis is a big village, a big area, right? But in our medical center, most time you go there, there's only one nurse you find there. That's the assistant nurse, right? And it's a big area, our place is a big place. So I'm pleading to the authorities or the medical profession to please register give us a registered nurse in Willis, in the medical center, because we really need it. We have one nurse there, and I go there most of the time. I can see how she's up and about, and a lot of things happen. Our village is a big village, so we ask the government, please, or the medical institution, to give us a registered nurse in our department in Willis. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you for your contribution, caller. You're certainly welcome. 435-2041, 435-2041. And we're taking your phone calls. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning.
Morning, GT, and morning to your listeners and your viewers. Are you hearing me clearly?
Certainly I am. Go right ahead.
Okay. Just to piggyback a little on the last 2 callers. One with the issue of, we don't hope that we cut down everything and plant marijuana. I think his point is valid in the sense that we tend to follow suit. Like, for instance, everybody, instead of opening a bookshop or something like that, people are opening a rum shop and running buses. I mean, everybody seems to want to go in the same direction. In relation to your last caller about the registered, I think one of the things we have to bear in mind, there's a really depletion of the nurse, of the medical people over the years, because the great disrespect that was done to them, accusing them of thieving meat and all that kind of thing. People have fled the country. I mean, those folks, so that the few nurses that remain, are not justifying the absence of people, but just saying that probably sometime, even though the authority may want to do it, because the personnel are very scarce, and that's why we need to really make that a priority and ensure that there is a whole people to serve our people. And maybe we need to begin from with emphasis on primary health care, where we ask the people and the community to really pay a greater interest in their own personal and collective health. My contribution this morning is about the social compact. I think that based on statement, based on what have happened lately in terms of the justice system, we know that we have problems in the community. The Minister of Labor have said, well, we're going to do the thing on revisit the whole both the minimum wage and health and safety, and also some of the pronouncement that the Prime Minister made at the UN. I think it's a good time that we revisit the social compact, which was a good piece of document that was developed by the various sectors, but which was not implemented properly because even before it was began to be implemented, the government began to violate the very principle in it. And for instance, civil society did not sign the compact. And we need to revisit because to me it is a blueprint for collective cooperation, private sector, government, trade union, churches, civil society is there. What we need to do is to revive it and make it become something that all of us agree on. And it is there. A lot of work was done. I mean, reluctantly in the beginning, agreed to be involved. And I remember pouring my soul, heart and soul in that. In fact, I did 2 pieces of the document, the concept paper. I did it for the consultant. The thing on disability and on, which one again? Resilience. So we need to go back on that and see if we can galvanize our people. And I will end here by saying we could talk about it and try to blame individual people in the court system, but we have to try and locate who's responsible, not to blame. And I would say that the former administration in particular, I've caused a lot of injury to our psyche by not respecting the judiciary. Look at all the cases that they ignore. And some people have gone to their grave and they didn't get what they're supposed to get based on what the court has done.
Take a time to wrap. Thank you.
I'm finished.
Thank you so much. Folks, we drew for another break. Let's take that break. We're coming right back here on To The Point.
This could be out. Brilliant catch. What a stunning catch.
The biggest party in sports, the Caribbean Premier League, is back and live on GBN television. Capture the energy, excitement, and euphoria of the beloved game. 34 matches, 6 teams, only one to be crowned champion. The action starts August 31st and runs until September 30th. Live on GBN television at K105.5 and 105.9. It's no carnival, but you will enjoy the mass.
And you're kidding me! You are kidding me!
GBN's broadcast of the Hero CPL is made possible by Republic Bank, we're the one for you. Habats, National Lotteries Authority, Demerara Mutual Life, Grenlec, Kenish Trucking, Webisco and Bermudas, Consumers Guarantee Insurance, and Had-On Plus.
As GBN brings you coverage of this year's Hero CPL, there will be some adjustments to our programming lineup. On Tuesday 27th, Wednesday 28th, and Friday 30th September 2022, transitions will be at 5:05 p.m. GBN TV News will be at 6 p.m. and repeated right after the CPL match. Transitions will be rebroadcast after the GBN News repeated. GBN, with you anywhere and everywhere with sports coverage.
Are you a small business and would like your business to grow? Do you have an event, products or services that people should know about? Be wise. Advertise. Book your spot on GBN Shopping Guide. Be part of Grenada's biggest advertising medium, the Grenada Broadcasting Network. Call our sales department now on 440-2446 or 440-3033 or GBN plus the number sign. Email us at sales@gbn.gd. Special conditions apply.
Welcome back to our listeners and viewers this morning here on GBN TV, and KO105 Radio. Welcome back to another edition of To The Point for today. We're taking your calls. It's an open line segment for today. Let's go back to the phone line and take this call in the segment. Caller, good morning, and how are you?
Yeah, I could go ahead with my comments.
Go right ahead.
Well, in relation to this case, the system and the previous NNP government have failed, because if you notice that the lawyers have been complaining all the time about the deplorable record, the state of the records in the registry, the conditions under which judges operate, the physical infrastructure of the building. They have been writing to the government on several occasions because the court system and the whole judiciary is underfunded and understaffed. They wrote to the previous government in relation to transcriptionists. Could you imagine what? And that is a highly skilled area, technical. You have to bring in people, right? One transcriptionist for a backlog of case. So when you look at the whole situation, is the blatant neglect and underfunding of the previous government. I hope this next one corrected, to correct all the ills that plague the judiciary year after year. They remember there was demonstrations. I think the Bidens have taken the government to court right now. They have some cases. You want to tell me you have transcript? They don't know where the judge is thing. I don't know about lost computer. I'm talking about the transcript. One transcriptionist. What about the records of the judge that they say now that is lost? What is the security? What is the backup system in those days? So when you really look at the whole
special condition,
and when you really look at it, it's underfunded and inadequate staff, and the ills that and what the judiciary is suffering over the last 7 year upon year, that the previous administration attention was brought to it. And on top of that, I was listening last night to one of them, and the guy was saying that, as far as he is concerned, that he draw a case from the Privy Council where that guy could have been retried. The question is, why wasn't he? Because apparently
take another 30 seconds, caller, and wrap up, please.
Right, but the problem is the failure of the previous government that didn't fund the court properly, and we end up in that mess. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your contribution this morning. 435-2041, 435. It's an open line today here on To The Point, and your phone calls are certainly welcome. 435-2041. Let's go back to the phone line and accept another caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome.
Yes, good morning. I just want to add my little bit. I heard you. I was outside there, and I heard you say we learned a lot from last night's program. Yes? Mm-hmm. I don't know if you will agree, but there is a difference in hearing a lot. We heard a lot, than we learned a lot. Because if you really pay attention, the lawyers are saying different things. No, who am I to say that Mr. Ferguson has cleared the air? It means then that I have taken the position to believe that Mr. Ferguson is speaking the truth and Mr. Clouden is lying. You agree?
I get your point, yes.
Yes. So we have to listen, and we have to listen carefully to what all the lawyers are saying. Because Mr. Clouden, on another program, even said that he was aware of other information on that very said computer. And he said on that very said computer, he didn't just leave it open. He said the biggest drug case. The information on the biggest drug case in Grenada is on the computer that was being stolen. And Mr. Clouden is holding fast to the computer was stolen. Okay, so this morning GBN played one clip from Mr. Ferguson saying no computer was stolen. But later on, when Mr. Ferguson was on, I think it was the Bob Report, he said no computer was stolen early, but later on in that same program he said some computers were stolen. but not that specific one. Now, if GBN would only play the clip where he said no computer was stolen, GBN is helping to put a slant on the story to misguide the public. Yes? Now, lastly, I just want to add, there is a big difference in a journalist and a reporter. The reporter will go out there and come back and report what he heard, where he heard it.
Thank you so much, caller, for your contribution this morning. 435-2041, 435-2041. We're moving up to just around 17 minutes before the 10 o'clock hour. We may have an early cut for the To The Point program for today. Don't forget we got cricket, lovely cricket, CBL cricket coming up this morning. So just at 10 a.m. So we have an early cut for the program this morning. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning, and how are you?
Yes, good morning. Good morning. You hearing me?
I'm hearing you, but you seem to have a device that is playing in the background, caller.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, my thing about marijuana. Now, marijuana is a herb. Is good for medical purposes. But in my opinion, I don't think they should legal marijuana in grade because, you see, marijuana does damage your brain cells. Marijuana is not to smoke. People misusing marijuana. This using marijuana the wrong way. If you question that, doctor will tell you that marijuana does damage the cells in your brain after a period of time. So I don't think they should legalize marijuana.
All right, cool.
I was a Rasta. I used to grow marijuana. I grew marijuana for years. I used to sell marijuana by the pound. And I could tell you the effect that marijuana have.
All right, caller, I want to thank you for your contribution this morning. 435-2041, 435-2041. Hope your statement doesn't get you into trouble. 435-2041. That's the number you can certainly calling to be part of To The Point for today, folks. We're moving up just 50 minutes before the top of the hour. Don't forget, early round for the program this morning, we do have to accommodate CPL cricket. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning, and how are you?
Yes, sir, good morning. I just wanted to follow up on your last caller who spoke about this case that is going on. Now, she said that if you really take what Mr. Ferguson say, then Mr. Ferguson is speaking the truth. Cloudman is lying. If you take Cloudman's side, Cloudman is speaking the truth. Mr. Ferguson is lying. And you know what? When I hear things like this, it just helps me to conclude a little stronger that the word of God is true, and it says the heart of man is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? It also says that the love of money is the root of all evil. And it also says, except ye repent, we shall all likewise perish. There is a lot of spiritual wickedness in high places taking place in the world. And this is what we need to take heed of. Spiritual wickedness.
Caller, take another 10 seconds and wrap up, please.
Somebody could be making damage control. We don't know who.
Mm-hmm.
So we just have to ask God to take over Grenada because Grenada is in a mess. It has been in a mess for over 10 years. And we have to ask God for help, for deliverance, and to take charge of Grenada.
Thank you for your contribution this morning. 435-2041, 435. We still could accommodate a couple more calls on the program this morning here on To The Point. It's an open line session for today, which means you have the option of calling in and share your views and concern. Once again, please keep your comments short. We just have limited time on the program this morning. Let's go back to the phone line and say good morning to this caller. Caller, good morning and welcome. Caller, good morning and welcome.
Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Doing okay, sir. Go right ahead.
Yeah, I'm listening to a whole set of things, but I want us to remember one thing. You could only educate those who want to be educated. Those who do not want to be educated, you cannot educate them. That is something we should try to understand. So, but I heard Mr. Lal sing on a program some time back, and he was referring to dictation being done in schools. And I think we need to go back to that aspect of our education system, because dictation forces you to listen carefully and then reproduce. And in our situation, or in our country now, people don't listen carefully, and therefore they don't reproduce properly. And there is a need to train our young people to think, to listen carefully, to think constructively, and to reproduce and produce and reproduce properly. So two things that need to be reintroduced into our system: dictation and the grammar.
All right.
Because without grammar, I listen to some of the news items, and some of the sentences are poorly constructed, but the news reporter, the announcer, many of them do not read, they just call words. So they do not phrase properly, and they do not understand the verb. When the S is on the subject, it comes off the verb. When the S is on the verb, there is no S on the subject. This kind of little things that make the thing worthwhile. So thank you, and I hope somebody hears me who is in a position to do something about this.
Thank you for your contribution this morning, caller. Thank you so much for your contribution. 435-2041, that's the number here to be part of To The Point. We do have another caller on the line. Good morning to you, caller. Welcome. Good morning, caller. Welcome. I guess that caller having a bit of an issue with their phone line there. 435-2041. 435-2041. Be moving up to make that 11 minutes moving up before the 10 o'clock hour. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, concerning the Mr. Clark man who was responsible for killing this young lady. Mr. Clark was arrested, charged, brought before the court. He was found guilty and sentenced to 67 years in prison. That's more than enough process. He should not have been released from Grenada at all. So let's get the rubbish out of the way. Get him back to Grenada and let him serve his sentence. There is proof that he killed the girl. We don't go further than that. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your contribution also, caller. Just saying it to the point this morning. Hey, folks, let's see if we can accommodate maybe one more caller, and we may have to take a wrap for today's program. Let's say good morning to the caller. Caller, good morning, and how are you?
Yeah, quickly, I was saying that just as how someone can really Bible out of context by just reading a few lines and looking up the sentence, in the same way, if you read what somebody writes or you listen to what somebody says and you give only a part of it, it can result in a distorted understanding of what the person is trying to say. And I think the situation here is that people have not listened to things in their entirety and try to understand them. And a lot of the problem is with the media folks themselves. They report parts of certain things, they don't investigate, and they help to confuse the population. Quickly about the marijuana thing. I think some people are deliberately or otherwise making it look as though when folks say everybody on the go marijuana, as though every individual. That's not what they mean. Many countries are ahead of us in growing marijuana, and if we, as a country, focus on it, there will be more sellers than buyers for it. And especially if it's only for medicinal use, there's only a limited demand for it. My take on it is when marijuana becomes categorized as a food, which we're importing from all over the world, then I will support the cultivation of it. But once it's a drug with limited use, while we continue to starve and spend billions on importing food, I would say no to marijuana. Let's focus on food. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you for your contribution also, caller. That's what we take a wrap for today's program, To The Point. Join us again tomorrow once the Almighty permits health, strength, and we're able to be here. We certainly have another edition for you. This is why I say goodbye to our listeners this morning via K105, our viewers via GBN TV, our viewers and listeners via our social media platform, Facebook, and also those of you via our YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your participation this morning. Until we have another edition, once again, we say goodbye. Don't forget, cricket comes up at the top of the hour here on K105 and GBN TV. We say goodbye for today. Have a good one.